हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम टू माय चैनल ओमनी ज्ञान। मेरे चैनल ओमनी ज्ञान में आप सब लोगों का फिर से बहुत बहुत ज़्यादा स्वागत है। सो स्टूडेंट्स, दिस इज़ एन आउट ऑफ सिलेबस स्टोरी दैट आई एम गोइंग टू टीच यू. Obviously this is not in your syllabus, but because the story is so interesting and I am personally a big fan of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Okay, all of you know that he created, or maybe most of you know that he created that immortal character, the detective Sherlock Holmes. Okay, and we are going to learn a story called The Speckled Band, okay, by Sherlock Holmes. It's a very interesting story, and you will feel very, very interested, after learning the story. So, without any further delay, let us start the explanation of the story. Okay, I'm going to tell you the story. It's a very interesting story how Sherlock Holmes solves a murder mystery here. Okay, so first of all, let us try to learn. हम लोग देखते हैं a short biography of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Okay, so एक छोटा सा biography है. He was born in the year 1859 in Scotland. He was a British writer as well as a doctor, specifically a chemist actually, and he's best known for his character Sherlock Holmes. He wrote many detective adventure and historical stories also, but he's famous for Sherlock Holmes only. Okay, and he died in the year 1930. Okay, so a very short biography. Now we will move on to the story. So the adventure of the Speckled Band, and the mystery begins. So the story is written by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Okay, the story features Sherlock Holmes and his friend and assistant Dr. Watson. Okay, now there's a lady called Helen Stoner who comes to Sherlock Holmes for help. उनकी मदद के लिए हेलन स्टोनर शर्लॉक होम्स के पास आते हैं. Why she comes? Because she is afraid that she may die just like her sister Julia. तो हेलन स्टोनर को ये डर है that वो मर सकती है उसके सिस्टर जूलिया के जैसे. ओके, जूलिया हेलन स्टोनर की सिस्टर थी और उनका एक अचानक से एक मौत हो जाता है. ओके, शी डाइज in a very mysterious manner, and now Helen Stoner feels that I might also die just like my sister. Now Helen Stoner visits Holmes. Okay, so a frightened young woman asks for help. Now when Helen comes to Sherlock Holmes, she looks very nervous and frightened. Okay, and she tells Holmes about her twin sister Julia. Okay, तो Julia जो है Helen Stoner की twin sister है. Now Julia, her sister, died mysteriously 2 years earlier. 2 साल पहले बहुत ही mysterious तरीके से जूलिया की डेथ हो गई. Okay, Julia dies in a very mysterious manner. And now you see Helen Stoner now hears strange whistling sounds at night. अब Helen Stoner को रात को बहुत अजीब सा whistling sounds सुनाई देता है. तो उनको ये डर है, Helen Stoner feels that I might also die just like my sister, that somebody is trying to kill me also. Okay, now why did Julia die, or how did Julia die? Why, we do not know. How did Julia die? Okay, so Julia's mysterious death. Now what happened to Julia? See, Julia was going to get married. Okay, but she suddenly becomes ill and she died. And before dying, she also heard a low whistle sound. मरने से पहले जूलिया ने भी एक whistling sound सुना था. And before dying, her last words were speckled band. तो मरने से पहले जो लास्ट शब्द जूलिया ने कहा वो था speckled band. Now nobody obviously understood the meaning कि जूलिया क्या कहना चाहती थी. Okay, because generally a person who dies will take the name of the murderer, right? So speckled band cannot be the name of a murderer. So what is this speckled band? This is the story. Okay, so what is this speckled band? That mystery Sherlock Holmes will be solving very soon. Okay, तो बात का बात ये है कि किसी को इस speckled band के बारे में नहीं पता ये क्या है ये speckled band. Okay, now we learn about Dr. Grimsby Roylott. Okay, Helen's dangerous stepfather. तो ये हेलन की stepfather है और बहुत ही ज़्यादा violent और dangerous है Dr. Roylott. Okay. अब Helen's stepfather, Dr. Grimsby Roylott, is violent and has a terrible temper. तो वो बहुत violent nature का है और बहुत ही ज़्यादा उसका temper जो है वो hot रहता है, very terrible temper. Okay. Now he once lived in India. वो एक समय इंडिया में था. Okay. And the strange thing about Dr. Roylott is that he keeps strange animals near the house. तो अपने घर पे वो बहुत ही स्ट्रेंज एनिमल्स वो रखती है अपने घर पे, ठीक है। एंड ही ऑल्सो कंट्रोल द फैमिलीज मनी। अब पूरे फैमिली परिवार का जो पैसा है वो कौन कंट्रोल करता है? वो कंट्रोल करता है डॉक्टर क्रिम्स पे, डॉक्टर रॉयलट, ओके। पूरा फैमिली का मनी जो है वो कंट्रोल करता है। ही इज ऑफ अ वेरी टेरिबल एंड वायलेंट नेचर, एंड ऑब्वियसली होम्स बिगिंस टू सस्पेक्ट हिम ओनली। अब होम्स जो है वो उनको ही सस्पेक्ट करना शुरू कर देता है, ठीक है। अब हम आगे बढ़ते हैं, लेट अस move. Okay, now Holmes investigates Stoke Moran. Okay, so Holmes is now, Sherlock Holmes is now looking for clues. Okay, so Holmes and Dr. Watson visit the old family house. तो डॉक्टर वाटसन और होम्स, शर्लॉक होम्स, ये दोनों जो हैं ये उनके ओल्ड फैमिली हाउस को विजिट करने के लिए जाते हैं, बिकॉज दे हैव टू गो टू द स्पॉट टू इन्वेस्टिगेट, ओके। And he goes there and he examines Julia's and Helen's rooms. So when Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson visit their home, they first examine Julia's and Helen's room. तो दोनों के कमरे को होम्स और डॉक्टर वाटसन बहुत अच्छी तरीके से एग्जामिन करते हैं। एंड ही नोटिसेस अ स्ट्रेंज वेंटिलेटर। तो एक बहुत ही ऑड, बहुत ही स्ट्रेंज वेंटिलेटर होम्स नोटिस करता है। एंड ही ऑल्सो सीज अ बेल रोप बिसाइड द बेड। तो होता है ना कि एक बेल जो है वो हैंग किया होता है, ओके। तो द रोप ऑफ द बेल, तो ही फाइंड्स अ बेल रोप बिसाइड द बेड। बिल्कुल बिस्तर के पास जो है एक रोप देख होम्स ने देखा, ओके। होम्स फाउंड अ रोप एंड द बेड इज फिक्स टू द फ्लोर। तो बेड जो है वो फ्लोर के साथ फिक्स है, इट कैन नॉट बी मूव्ड, ओके। नाउ द स्ट्रेंज क्लूज, ओके। सो स्मॉल डिटेल्स रिवील अ सीक्रेट। तो छोटे छोटे डिटेल्स जो है, मैं आपको एक बात बता दूं, लेट मी टेल यू ऑल वन थिंग, that Sherlock Holmes always, gives more importance, focus on tiny, small details. Okay, whenever any client comes to Mr. Holmes' house, okay, Sherlock Holmes' house, Sherlock Holmes always tells that man or that woman, okay, that please tell me, narrate to me all the details, even if the details are very small, unimportant also. Still, please tell me everything in detail. That will help me to solve the mystery. ठीक है, anyways, now bell rope, obviously bell rope is supposed to ring a bell, but the bell rope does not ring any bell. ये bell rope जो है किसी bell के साथ connected नहीं है, it does not ring any bell. So why is that bell rope there? That is a question mark. Why the bell rope? Okay. Now the ventilator connects two bedrooms. So say this is one bedroom, this is the ventilator, okay. This is one room, this is another room, and this is the ventilator. So this ventilator connects two bedrooms, okay. And the beds cannot be moved. बिस्तर मूव नहीं किया जा सकता. Generally our beds can be moved, right? But here the bed cannot be moved. बिस्तर को बिल्कुल मूव नहीं किया जा सकता because it is fixed. वो बिल्कुल fixed है. Okay. Now, in Roylott's room, Holmes sees a safe. A safe is an almirah, okay, where money, important documents are kept, okay. So Holmes finds a safe almirah with a locker system, okay. Safe would be the best, would be the best word would be a locker, okay. तो रॉयलॉट के कमरे में क्या देखा होम्स ने? एक लॉकर देखा, एक सेफ देखा, ओके। एंड ही ऑल्सो नोटिसेस अ सॉसर ऑफ मिल्क एंड लूप्ड डॉग whip. तो उस सेफ के अंदर क्या देखा? जनरली व्हाट डू वी कीप इनसाइड द सेफ? मनी, ऑब्वियसली मनी, jewelry, important documents. But inside this safe, what was there? A plate of milk, a saucer of milk, and a looped dog whip. तो क्या देखा? एक looped dog whip, okay. Whip एक तरीके का चाबुक होता है, okay. So dog whip. Okay, now let's move forward. Now, Holmes solves the mystery. So the mystery is finally solved by Holmes. But how? Let's see that. So the dangerous plan. Now, even your mind also, आपका दिमाग भी घूम जाएगा जब आप देखेंगे कि किस तरीके से ये सॉल्व हो रहा है. देखिए, रॉयलट यूजेस अ पॉइजनस स्नेक फ्रॉम इंडिया. तो इंडिया से रॉयलट ने एक बहुत ही ज़्यादा जहरीला पॉइजनस स्नेक वो लेके आए. एंड यूजेस द स्नेक. दैट इज़ वाई the locker has milk, because the snake would feed on milk. Okay, and what Roylott does is that the snake enters through the ventilator. तो Roylott क्या करता है? He will place the snake on the ventilator. Okay, now this is the ventilator, and from the ventilator comes down the bell rope, the rope. Okay, so the snake will enter from the ventilator and through the rope. Okay, the snake will come down to the bed. Okay, now it moves down the bell rope. तो bell rope से जो है ये सांप जो है ये धीरे धीरे करके नीचे आता है. It helps the snake to come down, again crawl up. From the same rope it will crawl up, and through the ventilator it will exit. वो बाहर निकल जाएगा. And it reaches the sleeping person on the bed. So whoever is sleeping on the bed, this bell rope is here, connected here. Okay, and whoever is sleeping on the bed, okay, that snake will come and bite that person. And how does Roylott call the snake back? The Roylott calls it back with a low whistle. So that was the whistle sound that both Julia also heard, and her sister Helen also hears that same whistle sound, because when the snake's work is done, then Roylott will do what? Roylott from another room, he will blow a soft whistling sound. तो वो softly whistle करेगा, and the snake will again crawl up. Hearing its master's whistling sound, the snake will again crawl up, and through the ventilator it will exit. So nobody suspects. तो कोई सस्पेक्ट करता ही नहीं कि जूलिया किस तरीके से मर्डर हुई. हाउ जूलिया वाज मर्डर्ड, nobody suspected. Okay, now the night trap. So let us see. So Holmes believes that Helen is the next target, because you see, Julia was killed by the snake, and it was obviously done by Roylott only. Okay, so Holmes believes that Helen will be the next target now, the stepfather. Okay, Roylott will kill Helen also, maybe because of money. Okay, शायद पैसा एक बहुत बड़ा कारण है. He and Watson secretly wait in Helen's room. अब दोनों क्या करते हैं? Without the knowledge of Roylott, he, Holmes and Watson, they secretly hide in Helen's room and they keep waiting. Now the room of Helen is dark and silent, and suddenly they also hear a strange whistling sound. तो उनको भी ये whistling sound सुनाई देता है. That means it is now time for the snake to come through the ventilator. And यही हुआ. The same happens. A snake appears near the bell rope. तो ventilator से वो snake जो है वो bell rope की तरफ बढ़ा. Okay, the snake moved towards the bell rope and did what you see. So the snake turns back. Okay, so Roylott's plan fails. So we will see how his plan fails. So Holmes attacks the snake with his walking stick. तो Holmes ने क्या किया? जैसे ही रस्सी से, the moment the snake starts coming down using the rope, Holmes attacks the snake with his stick, walking stick. तो Holmes ने अपने walking stick से उस snake को attack कर दिया, लेकिन मारा नहीं. Did not kill. Holmes did not kill the snake. तो snake डर गया. The snake became frightened and the snake returns through the ventilator. Snake जो है वो उसी ventilator के through return हुआ. और कहाँ return हुआ? It goes back into Roylott's room. तो वो स्नेक जो है वेंटिलेटर से रिटर्न होके इट गोज इनटू रॉयलॉट्स रूम. सो रॉयलॉट का प्लान यही था कि फ्रॉम हिज रूम ही विल रिलीज द स्नेक थ्रू द वेंटिलेटर. फर्स्ट it killed Julia 2 years back, and now the next target was Helen. But for Helen's case, this plan fails. This plan of Roylott fails because Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson was already there in the room prepared. Okay. And suddenly, when the snake, after the snake goes back into Roylott's room, a terrible cry is heard. बहुत जोर से चिल्लाने का आवाज आया. Okay, now Holmes and Watson rush inside Roylott's room. ये दोनों पहुंचे Roylott के कमरे में. Okay, ये दोनों पहुंचे inside Roylott's room to see why is the cry for. ये चिल्लाने का आवाज Roylott के रूम से क्यों आया? So they rush inside. And what they found is that they found that Roylott is dead. तो Roylott मर गया. अब कैसे मरा Roylott? How did Roylott die? So the end of the mystery here. The murderer is killed. Now the poisonous snake has bitten him. तो अपने ही मास्टर को स्नेक ने मार डाला. the snake killed its own master, Dr. Roylott. And his own murder weapon has killed him. तो अपना ही जो murder weapon, generally, normal people's murder weapon is knife or gun, but his murder weapon was a snake, Roylott's murder weapon, because nobody will suspect, right? It will look like an accident. Snake entered, snake had bitten that person, and snake went away. So nobody will suspect it is an accident. सबको लगेगा ये एक accident है. But it was a planned murder. Okay, he used the snake as a weapon to kill first Julia, and his next target was Helen. Okay. Now, his own murder weapon has killed him. The snake killed its own master, and now Helen Stoner is safe. तो Helen Stoner का जान जो है वो बच गया. So Holmes has finally solved the mystery. तो Holmes ने mystery को solve कर दिया इस तरीके से, in this way. Okay. Now, why is it called the Speckled Band? Remember, in the beginning, we learned that Julia's final words were the speckled band before dying. So why Julia's final words were the speckled band? There's a question mark. See, at first everyone thinks that it may mean a group of people, because band means what? Band means a group of people. Group of people. ठीक है, तो सबको लगा, everybody thought in the beginning that it might mean a group of people, that a group of people entered Julia's room and they murdered Julia. But no, it was not that. In reality, it refers to the snake's speckled body. Okay, तो snake का जो है speckled body को mean करता है speckled band. तो Julia actually meant that it was a speckled body of the snake, but because she was almost dying, she could not tell it very clearly, and she just said that the speckled band. Julia ने सिर्फ बताया the speckled band. Okay, so the mystery is solved through careful observation of Sherlock Holmes. तो Sherlock Holmes के careful observation ने इस mystery को पूरा solve कर दिया. ठीक है. Now, what is the main message of the story? So what do we learn from the story? Careful observation can reveal hidden facts. So if you want to become a detective in future, you can use this, these points. Okay. So careful observation can reveal hidden facts. So Sherlock Holmes' observation is very, very careful. Logical thinking is stronger than guessing. See, in the beginning, Sherlock Holmes guessed that, he suspected Roylott, but he did not have any proof. उनके पास कोई proof नहीं था Sherlock Holmes के पास. He just guessed. So logical thinking is stronger than guessing. Sherlock Holmes ये बोलते हैं. Courage helps us face danger. Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson wait in the room of Helen, right, to catch the culprit, to catch the murderer. Okay, and finally finds that the snake is the murderer. Okay. And a cruel plan can turn against the person who makes it. Obviously, आप किसी के लिए खड्डा अगर खोदेंगे, if you dig a pit for somebody, you will fall into that same pit only. दूसरों के लिए जो खड्डा खोदता है वो उसी खड्डे में गिर जाता है. ठीक है, तो cruel plan can turn against you only. Okay, and that is what we call in modern terms karma. Karma hits back. There is a saying. Okay, so Sherlock Holmes saves Helen through intelligence. Sherlock Holmes ने Helen को बचाया with his strong intelligence. Okay, so this is the end of the story, the adventure of the Speckled Band. Please comment how you like the story. Please comment section में बताइए ज़रूर कि कहानी आपको कैसा लगा. Obviously out of syllabus है, but just for your entertainment and for your knowledge, and because I am personally a big fan of Sherlock Holmes, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, that is why I thought of telling you this story today. And I will be telling you some more stories, interesting stories, mystery stories of Sherlock Holmes in my next video. Okay, so till then, thank you so much, and please comment below. Okay, subscribe to the channel, like and share my videos, and please do follow me on Instagram. Also subscribe to my new channel, Omni Gyan Shorts. I make very interesting videos there, many interesting videos there. Okay, so with that, I would like to take your leave. Thank you so much for watching the video. With love from Omni Gyan, and all the best to all of you. Thank you so much.